Hello everyone and welcome to the Atelier Nekozuki podcast. My name is Katie and this is officially episode 67 of the podcast. Today is March 13th, 2019 and I do believe all that information is correct. I know it wasn't at the beginning of last podcast, at least for the episode number. So I'm sorry for that. I realized once I had posted it or was going to post it, that I had screwed up the episode number. But you're here now. So welcome to all new viewers and returning viewers. Thanks so much for joining me again. Remy is on my lap. I don't know how long he's going to stay because I'm kind of sitting cross-legged and that's not his favorite position to sit on me in, but excuse me, I will enjoy it for as long as he will stay, which is now. Anyway, I'm also a little bit sick, so if I sound a little bit nasally or stuffed up, yes, I am actually nasally and stuffed up. It's not in your head. But yeah, I got some knitting done this past week, not as much as I kind of had anticipated, but I got other important things done, so that's important too. Like taxes. Yes, tax season. And then Dallas was only home for 3 days this week. He worked some overtime last week, so it was just kind of a breakneck visit home to get a few things done. And I'll go a little bit more into that in, I guess, after I talk about the knitting. Honestly, this is going to be such a short podcast because I have 2 items. I don't have any sewing this week because the super secret project is totally cutting into sewing. And I'm trying to get some ideas in place so that you can have some new products this year as well. So, I will reveal all soon. Well, close to all soon. I did get some work done on my pompadour shawl though. So I'm past the halfway point and I don't know why, but the little point here when you start the decreases makes me so happy. I was at the cat stitch marker last week. And so I'm probably half of the way through the next section. Well, I'm not quite, maybe a third of the way through. Let's say a third. I am knitting this out of those yarn things. King Fiber, which is the merino singles, and also Hedgehog Mohair Silk, or Kid Silk Haze, I feel like it's called. Excuse me. Yeah, definitely sick. Yeah, so it's a singles weight yarn, which is the King Fiber, and then I'm knitting also with the Hedgehog Kid Silk Haze. Kid Silk Haze is in Budgie, and then the King Fiber is in Underwater. Underwater I got at Knit City, and then Budgie I got at Stash in Calgary, which is a local yarn store for me. And everything is living comfortably in one of my small box bags. Not rattling around too much in there. It's actually the perfect size for this project because this is really light and fluffy, but it's also actually kind of larger than I thought it was going to be. Oh, and the needle size for the shawl is US 4 3.5 millimeter needles. That's what I'm knitting it on. It's just what's called in the pattern, and since realistically it's not really it's not a garment that has to fit, I didn't gauge swatch. I don't gauge swatch for stuff that doesn't need to fit. Heck, I don't even gauge swatch for hats, even though I should, because I always end up with hats that don't fit. I don't know what it is about my noggin, but they make me look like objects I do not wish to look like, no matter their color. But pink ones are especially bad. But yeah, it's all living in this small box bag. So quite happily. And then the other project that I worked on then that I'm quite happy with my progress on is I am working on the couple socks. And if you've been watching, you'll see there's no 2 socks. There's only 1, which is perfect. I finished my sock of the pair. And there is the matching mismatching pair for me. Obviously I gotta weave in ends, but that can happen this week. And then I am to the ribbing for Dallas's sock. I do think, yeah, that blue sock does have a longer foot. I don't actually know which one's gonna fit him. But they stretch, and that's the glorious part about knitting. And if I need to go back and add more length to the toe, whatever, I'll do it afterwards. Because I'm at the ribbing, so I can fix it later, but I'm almost done and I want to be finished because I've got 10 days until these need to be finished. Technically, they should be done by next Tuesday for my for my purposes. Excuse me. But yeah, I'm on to the ribbing now, which it always goes faster once my sock is off the needles, which is really nice because then I can just like, when I am doing the ribbing on my sock, that's the one thing I noticed is that it's a slog because I have to remember that his is knit in stockinette stitch, mine is knit in rib stitch because I'm much slower ribbing than I am just going around. And so it zooms by so much faster when I actually end up getting mine off. But so I have a hoe and a mostly faux there. Actually, no, I've got a faux and a hoe basically. Hoe and 3/4. Hoe is half finished object for anyone who hasn't been in the knitting podcast community for a while or that's not their general watching. Excuse me. That is literally all I've knit this week. Hey, I got knitting done. That's the important bit. I have been ripping out some of those works in progress that I talked about last week and like rewinding the yarn and stuff like that. So I've been doing needle adjacent work and actually getting a lot of important work done on the super secret project, which if all goes well, I should be able to actually reveal next week or the week after. I'll figure that out in the next couple weeks. Excuse me. Let's see what else happened. So Dallas was only home for 3 days. He did his part of the work that he needed to on the super secret project so I could kind of move forward with it. And then we went out for a really nice dinner out in Banff actually at the park. It's actually Gin Distillery and their prime rib is some of the best that I think it is actually the best we've ever had. And they've got some like really nice craft cocktails which are really good, so that's a big reason for us to go out. We actually found out about them through Beer Fest in Calgary last year. They were part of the distillery district, so that was really nice. It was really busy though, and like it's a place that you have to make reservations anyway, and we went on a Saturday night, which yeah, you're gonna need a reservation. And but it was like consistently busy. It was actually really good to see, but yeah, where we ended up getting sat was not the best atmosphere compared to some of the other areas that we've sat. Like generally we are either, it's a 2-floor restaurant, and generally we're either upstairs or at the bar, and those are definitely the two places to be sat. So Dallas has said like next time we go we'll just request that we're sat upstairs, because I figure like with the bar it's better to leave that maybe more for like when we just like randomly decide to go. So I think that's what'll end up happening. I had my Japanese lessons last week and we're going to be going into spring break. I've got one more lesson tomorrow night and then we're into a couple weeks spring break, which is really nice. And yeah, that's really it. I was really tempted to actually do this as a vlog today, but it's really hard to vlog and show projects, so that's why it's a little bit more formal setup, but I'm kind of scruffy because I'm sick and working on stuff, so I'm sorry for the very short episode. Oh, I guess I could talk about what I'm actually listening to, which is still Empire of Storms. I'm probably about half an hour to 45 minutes from the end. I know it's coming. It's like this close. And if I delayed by a few more minutes, I might have even finished it, but I needed to record this right now because I'm actually going to the ballet tonight, which is super exciting. So I gotta go get ready and like get this posted and everything like that. So I couldn't finish it quite yet, but that's probably what I'll listen to on my drive in. That's what I listen to. So the next one I'll be listening to is Tower of Dawn. I've already got it queued up. And what else did we do this week? Oh yeah, we ended up watching quite a bit of anime actually. I'm like, there's something else we did that I can actually talk about if you want to stick around. If you don't and you're just here for the knitting, you had 5 minutes, and now I'll see you next week. Sorry guys. But for anime, we're still watching all the ones I've listed previously, which I think I'll list them here anyway. So right now we're watching the simulcasts of That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Although that one I'm kind of getting really bored with. I feel like it should have finished about 5 episodes ago. I don't know. It needs something to happen so that like there's some impetus for the show itself, so it can move forward. Because it just seems like it's kind of lost its way. I don't mind extensive shows where basically, like in Inuyasha, where it's like, we're just going to continue to give power-ups to your sword, and that's the main drive for it. But there was still that overarching theme of, or overarching storyline that they had to collect the jewel pieces to defeat the main baddie. And I'm fine with that because it still is pushing forward. He's still meeting opponents where they're getting stronger and stronger and stronger, and so he needs stuff to defeat these stronger opponents. That's fine. I'm fine with that most of the time. Sometimes it drags out. I did find Inuyasha, like, I was glad when it ended because that's where it needed to stop. It probably could have ended sooner, but at least it had a story arc to maintain so that you weren't kind of like left with I don't know, it's hard to explain. It didn't bother me that much. This one though is like, it's kind of lost the main thread of what it's doing. Like, he had a quest at the beginning and it was a good quest. The slime one, sorry. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. He had a quest and he's just kind of completely ignored the original quest. Like, I don't know, it's weird. Anyway, I'm getting bored with that one. It's really good for the first episodes. So I don't know. We'll see where it goes. And then what else are we watching simulcast? We're watching My Roommate is a Cat, which is super awesome. I'm really enjoying that. Be prepared for all the feels though. Just, yeah, have a box of tissues ready on hand. And then we're also watching the simulcast of Meiji Girl Renka, which is a reverse harem. I'm kind of ready for that one to end too, but it will be interesting to see how it ends. I think, I don't know, it's just light and entertaining. It is reverse harem, so it falls into what I've seen a lot of those tropes being, which is kind of like you fall in love with the first, like, or the main character falls in love with the first dude that they run into there, and then harems happen. And everyone's competing for her attention. And so it's just kind of, it's following that trope exactly, which is fine, but yeah. The other one we're watching is The Rising of the Shield Hero, and that one is amazing. Really enjoying that one so far. Probably the best one to come out so far this season. Like 2019 spring, I think they qualify this season as. So we're really enjoying that. We watched One Punch Man, which you can actually get on Netflix. And that was a lot better than I anticipated it to be. I had actually had it suggested quite a few times by a friend. And it's kind of been one of those ones that's been in the community for a while, just kind of sitting there brewing. And like, my thing of why I never actually watched it before was because anime is partly technical aspects of, it has to have good animation. And then also good story. Like, it has to be really well balanced because there are so many good ones that do that. So to be honest, One Punch, like Saitama's design that I had been seeing that everyone had picked up on online did not draw me into the story. And I know that's a terrible reason, but it's like, it's such an art genre or an art media that it's hard to get over that hurdle for me sometimes. So that might just be my own prejudices against it, but it's my watching time. So we hadn't watched it up until recently, or this weekend, but that's one of the ones that we binged. It was really good. I would highly recommend it, especially if you're an anime fan and or a superhero like trope, like superhero movie fan. Those are the two genres that definitely falls into. There's definitely some really awesome nods to classic anime in that show, and that's what I really enjoyed about it too. And then the final one that was almost like anime ruining for the next few days, which we won't watch much until next week anyway when Dallas is home again, but was A Place Farther Than the Universe, which is a quest story to go to Antarctica. And it's a slice of life with 4 high school girls, and it is absolutely amazing. Really good soundtrack, absolutely gorgeous animation, really good storyline. I actually actively avoid slice of life shows generally. My few exceptions of it are like shoujo ones, which I know are going to be slice of life most of the time. So shoujo is anime marketed towards girls, generally with a romantic bent. Meiji Girl Renko would actually be counted as a shoujo, although the overlying one would definitely be reverse harem in that case. But so like it's subgenres within shoujo. This one was more of a coming of age shoujo slice of life. But it actually ended, and that's my big problem with slice of life shows is generally they end on a note where it's like, and they went off and they did things without any real conclusion. And I know that that can be very, like, it is present in a lot of things, but I don't like it. I like conclusions. I know that's a very North American thing too, I think. Whereas a lot of Japanese media, from what I've heard, I've not done extensive research on it or anything like that, but I find that that is very Japanese in that it just kind of, yeah, it's slice of life and they go off and continue their lives. And this show is totally a slice of life, but it has a really good actual conclusion. So that's as much as I'm going to say about it, because honestly I'll probably end up spoiling it otherwise. But it's 4 girls on a quest to go to Antarctica, and it's amazing, and you should watch it. And it's called A Place Farther Than the Universe. So that was my weekend. Anime and good food and actually a decent amount of knitting. So yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. I've got to get this posted before I head out tonight, but I will chat with you guys all next week, and I hope you all have a fantastic crafting week. Thanks so much, guys, and have an awesome day. Bye.